so today I'm going to be doing another foundation review video, and this is one on actually a higher end foundation. And I got this sent to me in the mail about a week and a half ago, and I was really excited about it because, as you guys know, I don't try out a lot of high-end foundations on this channel, and it's not because I don't like high-end foundations, it's just that I'm kind of a cheapskate. I will be the first to admit it. And usually when I buy a high-end foundation, I use it up, or, you know, I use up most of it, and I really kind of stick to that foundation, and when I am done with it, I will kind of maybe move on to another one. I don't just like compulsively buy tons of high-end foundations, but Makeup Forever is one of the best makeup brands for if you're looking for a shade. Like, let's say your skin is just a really odd shade, maybe you're super, super pale with really cool undertones. Makeup Forever will have your shade. Like, they have the nicest selection of colors probably out of any makeup line I have found at Sephora. I just think they're great for people with really unique skin tones. So that's a huge plus with Makeup Forever. Now, this brand actually was marketed towards like the digital age. That's kind of, I think, where they're going with this as far as marketing goes. So kind of like how, you know, we're all behind cameras a lot more these days, you know, videos and nice cameras, you know, HD cameras, selfies with Instagram and stuff like that. They're really marketing towards people that are behind the camera a lot. So that's kind of, I think, where they were going with their whole marketing, which I think is really, really interesting, especially for me since I am on YouTube and I am behind the camera all the time. I think this is going to be really interesting to see how it actually looks on camera. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So they sent me these two shades and they're a little bit light. They had me pick on a screen of colors online and I couldn't tell exactly what shade I was, and it ended up being that I got a shade too light for me. So I apologize if this is extremely pale for my skin. I'm going to try to darken it up with a little bit of contour and things like that. So if this is too light for my skin, I already know it, no need to comment, but this is more about how the foundation looks on the skin, how it wears, and things like that. So, okay, so I already applied my moisturizer. I use the Previce, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's the Hydro Milk, and I absolutely love it. It's been like my go-to foundation moisturizer, and it just makes my skin feel super, super soft and super hydrated. So I love that. And I'm not going to use a primer today because I've used primers in my past foundation review videos, and a lot of people say that they don't like that because they feel like it's going to kind of mess with the, you know, consistency of the foundation, how it applies. So I'm going to skip it for you guys because I've been requested to do that, and I'm just going to apply it right over the foundation. So as you can see, it's a really liquidy foundation. It is running down my hand, very, very, very liquidy, and I have kind of a cooler tone and a warmer tone mixed together, but that's the consistency of it. Very, very, very runny. Okay, so I'm using my Real Techniques Beauty Blender sponge, and I'm just going to apply it to the cheeks. So what I can see right now is the coverage is pretty good. It's covering my hyperpigmentation pretty well. I can kind of see my pores right here, but it looks really, really flawless as far as how it applies. It is a little light, like I kind of predicted, but it's okay. But the coverage, yeah, the coverage is phenomenal, which surprises me for how liquidy it was, but I really, really like the coverage of this so far. So yeah, very good coverage. I really like how even it is making my skin look. It blends in really, really easily. So let's use my fingers. So it's not like that silicone type of feel, but it does blend out still really easy with your fingers because it is so liquidy. I feel like liquidier foundations tend to blend out easier with your fingers if you like to use your fingers. So that's kind of a plus if you're into that. Ugh, I hate applying with my fingers. I just feel like I don't get that the same even quality that a beauty blender gives. So I'm gonna go back in with my beauty blender. Even though it does apply really well with your fingers and you can get a pretty even finish, I feel like the beauty blender just evens it out a little bit more. If there's one makeup item that I think everybody needs to own, it is definitely a beauty blender. Hands down, one of the best products that you will ever own. Oh my gosh, I look so pale. This is so not my shade, but these were the darkest shades that they sent, so I apologize. Blend it down my neck just so I can kind of blend out a little bit. So I did one layer of the foundation and I feel like it looks pretty good. I don't think I need a second layer. I usually put some like on my cheekbones because I have hyperpigmentation there, but that covered up quite a bit in the first layer and I don't feel like I need to add any more foundation, especially for every day. If I was to be filming and I had the right shade, I might do a little bit more, but I don't think you would need to do too much of this for every day because it does have really good coverage. I'm not gonna say it's like overly heavy though, like it doesn't feel like you're caking it on your face, and I think it's because it's a thinner formula. I notice when foundations are that thicker formula, they have good coverage, but they do tend to feel a lot heavier on the skin. Because these are so liquidy, they don't have that really, really heavy feel where it's just cakey and heavy and ugh. It still feels really light and really wearable for like an everyday foundation, which is good. I was gonna do concealer. So I'm gonna do the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer as well. And I'm gonna put some under my eyes. I feel like you don't need very much of this, so I need to be kind of careful. So this is really good coverage as well. I really like this, I can tell. Super flawless. It can give you a really nice highlight. It's very liquidy, so it's not gonna be like that creamy coverage that you're gonna get with like a palette type of concealer. So if you're really into that super dramatic highlight under your eyes, I could see this being really good for that. And they do come in like the lightest of shades. This is like super, super light. This one is pretty much white. So if you're a really pale person and you have a hard time finding like a highlighting concealer that works for you, this is Y21, and it is almost white. So this might be really good for you pale skin people because this would be a really good concealer for the highlighting type of look. But yeah, that is extremely good coverage, you guys. Super, super good coverage. I have really, really dark under eye circles, and that did amazing for my under eye circles. So 2 thumbs up for how this covers. I think it's really, really great. You kind of have to be careful. I would pat it out with your finger maybe a little bit because it does kind of go into your fine lines. So I'm using a translucent powder for this. So I'm gonna just go under my eyes a little bit. And down the center of my face. And I'm just gonna lightly pat it in. Go down my neck just to even everything out because it is a little bit light. So even though I look like a vampire right now and I'm extremely pale, I really like the way this looks on the skin. If this matched my skin, it would look extremely flawless and light. It would look, it just kind of looks airbrushed kind of in a way, which I really, really like. I do tend to have heavy pores like right in this area, and I can see my pores pretty clearly. And I've noticed with the concealer, it does kind of get into your fine lines. So if you really are aggravated by concealers getting into your fine lines, or you notice it a lot, like in your own makeup routine, this may not be for you concealer wise, because I do feel like it's kind of getting into my fine lines, but it's not terrible and it doesn't really bother me too bad. I've seen way, way, way worse. But right now I am very happy with it. I am very happy with the way that it looks. I love that it looks really flawless, it looks really HD, and I'm really interested to see how this is gonna look on screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and then we will kind of get back to it. Hey guys, so I'm just getting around to doing my check-in, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't do it sooner, but it's about 10 o'clock right now, so it's really, really late. I think I applied it at like 11:30. So yeah, it's been a really long time, so now you guys are gonna know whether it lasts like, you know, how many hours has it been? Like 11 hours? Oh my god, really? All I can say is I only like touched up once with some powder. I didn't like reapply or anything like that. I just kind of touched up my oily areas. But I am really, really happy with how this looks. Like, I feel like I look really matte still, which is crazy. Like, I would not expect that whatsoever. I feel like it lasted a long time. I don't feel like it's coming off or really splotchy in any areas. The only place I feel like is a little splotchy is like my nose, which is usually the first place that I get kind of like wearing off of my foundations. And it's a little bit oily right in here as well. I kind of feel like I would want to definitely powder if I was to touch up right now. But as far as the lasting power goes, I think it's really good. It lasts a long time, and I think that it is definitely worth the money in that regard. The concealer did kind of fall into my under eye wrinkles, which is pretty common. I mean, if you have like tiny, tiny wrinkles under your eyes, it's gonna be really rare to find a concealer that doesn't kind of a little bit fall under there. But as far as like the lasting power, I think it lasted actually really well, and you can't really see my under eye circles that bad. So yeah, lasting power is great, and I feel like it is a pretty good foundation. I just wish the color was better. The color did not match me at all. So I definitely give this foundation 2 thumbs up. I think it's great if you're into kind of like a higher end foundation. I think it does give off a really nice HD look on camera. I really liked how it looked on my face in my videos that I did today. So yeah, I think it's really great. And I am losing my voice. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I feel like this video is like a hot mess. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was at least a little bit informational. I don't know. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also check out my other foundation review videos if you're in the market for a new foundation. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. So I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.